What's going on, everyone? It's Kamina here, and I'm bringing you another video from the Division. So yesterday some news dropped in State of the Game for 1.6, and today, 20th of January, we've had some more news on 1.6 and some more details of where it's going to go. So I'm going to bring you all the details and what we can expect from 1.6 and Last Stand. So keep watching to find out what. So first of all, let's talk about the expansion for the Dark Zone. So as you know, the Dark Zone is going to be expanded, which is going to include DZ7 all the way up to 9. Now this is going to be filled with free roaming NPCs and landmarks. The further north you go, the more challenging it's going to be. So there is going to be new landmarks, like I said, which feature waves of enemies. The landmarks are going to award with additional loot placed directly into the your infantry, so you don't have to worry about extracting that. But also as well, you can fast travel now between Dark Zone checkpoints, so you don't have to worry about actually coming out that checkpoint and then going fast traveling up to the next checkpoint, which can cause delay going in, especially if you're chasing rogues. So that's going to make it a lot easier as well. There's also going to be added contamination events in the Dark Zone as well, a bit like the DC supply drops that we get. Now these are going to be elite part of cleaners, which are basically sweeping the underground of the new Dark Zone, burning everything in their path, including the civilians who happen to be in their way. So roughly every hour, these elite cleaners will appear in the underground locations in the Dark Zone, and it's our jobs as agents to stop them. But it has noted on the news update on the Division official website that a word of warning know that these contaminations have reached unprecedented lethal levels in these places. So the virus filters that we do have will not be enough to resist this. So we basically need to act quickly and learn how to manage our health while venturing into these contaminated underground zones. So again, like I said, every hour these elite cleaners do come in, which does give us a chance to get other items, but also as well, you're going to have to play smart and learn how to survive down there, which is interesting, and I'm looking forward to something different along with the DC supply drops on what we can get from these cleaners. So as we know as well, Dark Zone leaderboards are going to be introduced into the Dark Zone. So the leaderboards have been added and they'll be tracking a wide range of different activities, both for PvP and PvE. And all these tracked activities will be turned into a total score. The leaderboard rankings are going to be divided into 3 tiers and will give out rewards when they reset on a weekly or monthly basis. Now, nothing has been released at the moment in showing what these leaderboards are going to be like, but I'll bring you that as soon as we get them. We're also going to see a new mode of difficulty, which is going to be legendary. Now this is going to be added in terms of the missions for Times Square, Warren Gate Power Plant and Napalm Production Site, and it does feature new powerful and smarter enemies. Now the legendary difficulty is the most challenging content in the game, and it is going to be a lot harder than the challenge mode in you getting the incursion, so it is intended for organised groups. Now the legendary difficulty does reward you with unique vanity items that are not available elsewhere in the game on top of the regular modes, so they are going to be worth doing if you are going to want to get those better items that you can't get anywhere else in the world of the Division. So in 1.6, named weapons are going to be given their very own type. They're now going to be called exotics. So the exotic weapons have been given their own unique talents. So for example, the Hungry Hog will now come with a gluten talent. So killing a target increases your damage dealt by 20% until you stop firing. And the Tenebrae will come with a lights out talent, which basically destroying an enemy weak points resets all skill cooldowns for your nearby group members. Exotic caches are also available as weekly rewards from legendary difficulty missions, so you can also look to pick up those exotic weapons from those missions noted earlier. In terms of the gear set changes that are going to come into 1.6, we are going to see a change to Alpha Bridge 4-piece bonus. Now this will only share the 3 talents from your weapon instead of all 3 talents. So it is only that last slot now that is going to be shared between those talents. Frontline is also going to get a change. The 4-piece will no longer remove the critical hit chance. Instead, it removes the effect of any mods you have applied to the shield. Reclaiming is going to see a change as well, so the focus is going to be more on a support build, so the support station. Its 4-piece bonus now activates all support station mods simultaneously. It no longer has an effect as well on consumables. Tactician's Authority buff will only disappear after you use a skill, and there will also be a new gear set called Seeker which has been added to the game, but not much information has been given on that at this stage. We're also going to see some change going forward as well in terms of the armor and resistance in the game in 1.6. So armor has been removed as a major bonus and has been replaced with health. Gear still comes with base armor, and some talents will still give bonus armor. Health and stamina are your primary means of toughness, so they've moved it away from the armor mitigation. Current health rolls have been turned into the new stat resist all. Resistance has been analog instead of binary. Diminishing returns have been added to status effects. Other parts of the game has been rebalanced as a result to make sure the time to kill and time to be killed does stay balanced, which is important, and all changes are retrospective. Skill power and skills have also had a change coming into 1.6. So skill power has been moved to a system similar to armor, where each world tier you reach will demand more skill power to reach the same effectiveness of your skills. There's a bigger difference in skill efficiency between low and high skill builds as well, which is great, and changes have been made to the sticky bomb, first aid and shock turrets. They've also rebalanced the signature skills and made it impossible to trigger a signature skill when you're already suffering from the immunity debuff. Tactical Link's damage bonus has also been lowered in PvP, which is great, and I'm sure we know that Tactical Link can do a lot of damage, so it is nice to see that has been lowered in terms of the PvP aspect of the game. There's also been some changes into the PvP balancing of the game. So hipfire stability while moving has been decreased, and a new hipfire camera has been added. The damage gap between body damage and headshots have also been lowered. When combat rolling, there's now a 1 second delay before you can roll again, so you can't continually rolling around everywhere. You can now no longer reload your weapon while sprinting, and this was a good point brought up in SkillUp's part 5 of his series of videos, which I do agree with. Medkits can now be used at full health and remove certain status effects, so that's great that you can use that medkit at full health, especially if somebody in your team is requiring medic and you've got the combat medic on and you can pop that to help them. The rejuvenated talent has been changed to give additional resistance to status effects. Adrenaline no longer gives an overheal from medkits, instead it will give a heal over time. Your enemy's health bar will also flash when they use a medkit, so that's going to be interesting in terms of a PvP, so you can see when agents are using medkits and when the best time is to go all out on them. Survivability talents like On the Move, Battle Buddy and Critical Save have also had some balancing changes, which we would expect because at the moment they are very OP. Also as well, there has been some changes to the economy changes, so unlimited recalibration has been introduced, which is great, but obviously the price increases each time, but it will cap out at 5 recalibrations. Helping civilians will now reward intel instead of the poor little drops that we've seen. High-end pistols and survival no longer cost division tech. A scavenger box now scales with world tier, and some item prices have also been tweaked in terms of the vendors. There is also some other slight changes that are going to be introduced in 1.6. So there's going to be revamping of the in-game store, including new currency, an extended range of items available for purchase at the special vendor, including new emotes, which is great. So you're not going to have the typical jumping jacks or the salute or the wave. There's going to be new weapon skins and other vanity items. Also as well, all activities now reward their own separate experience points and award their own caches going forward. In survival, solo players can no longer end up in games where players queuing as a group. Grouping up while in a PvP survival game has also been disabled, and reviving a downed player in survival always will now cost a medkit. So there's some of the great changes that we have seen so far from 1.6 and Last Stand, which they have dropped. Now I'm very excited for this change, and I think the division as Massive and Redstorm have done great things, and I'm only excited more for this game. Now, there has been no news on the PTS just yet, but I expect that I would have thought will drop maybe next week, maybe the week after at the very latest. In terms of a release date for 1.6 and Last Stand, which are both dropping at the same time and they're not going to be different drops, there has been no news, but I would probably expect that maybe towards the end of February at some point. Now, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. I will drop in the description the link to the official Division website with all this information is available for you to read at your own leisure. Anyway, agents, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.